Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today I will be welcoming back my good friend Stephanie Hodge, who I've had on the podcast a couple other times before. Very funny, underrated lady in stand-up comedy and acting. Having her on the podcast today to just catch up and talk about stuff. We haven't talked since like just after Christmas. And we're supposed to meet up when I was in LA a couple weeks ago, but unfortunately it didn't happen. So gonna have her back on the podcast today, and it's gonna be insightful and interesting, like it always is when I talk to Steph. So yeah, here is my new interview, I should say, with Stephanie Hodge.
Hello.
Hey, Steph.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. Way better. Way better.
That's good. So sorry I'm late. I talked to somebody for like a long, long time.
No worries. Today's laundry day, so, I'm rocking.
Yeah. So yeah, you feel much better?
Oh, yeah, wait. You sound stuffy. Are you sick?
Semi. Yeah. It's something's going on in the air. Like my mom, I mean, she's getting it. My brother, I mean, just everybody's getting it. Something's in the air.
It is. Satan is afoot. I'm telling you, it's bizarre. We all got sick. And I got the sickest, of course, because, I need the attention. And, we're all they're still coughing and sneezing. I don't know what it is, man. Even the cats are sneezing. And when cats sneeze, you project snot onto your shirt. So that's fun to know.
Yeah. Oh my God. I had a great time when I was out in LA for the most part. I mean, my mom embarrassed me an awful lot, but it was good for the most part.
Well, good. Your mom's supposed to embarrass you, hon. That's kind of part of the job description.
Yeah, but not like this.
Oh my God, I'm sorry.
So we met up with a lot of people that have been guests on the podcast for breakfast, lunch, dinner, or whatever, and it was going great. I mean, they liked her, but just like she just makes it all about her, and it's just that part of it was embarrassing. I mean, they were looking at me and they were seeing me suffer.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's a different world, really, for her. So.
Mm-hmm.
I think people get worried. I know when my daughter's around people with me, like my people, is just like a clam. Just shook up. And never word to say. She stands there. And anytime else, she talks nonstop and it's so sarcastic. I couldn't be moved out.
Yeah.
It's funny. She's around people who are supposed to be funny. Nothing. She's got nothing to say.
Yeah. My mom had a lot to say. But
that's a hard thing to get when you're a parent. It is.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a certain point in life where we just looked at our daughter and went, you know what? I'm not going to talk for you anymore. You have to do it all yourself now.
Yeah.
Because we're getting a little out of hand. So, yeah, we need to draw us back in. We're out of hand. We need to be corralled, so you take it.
Yeah.
And it works out much better that way. Much better.
Yeah. I mean, we went to the Comedy Store that Thursday night, and she drank the only time on that trip. And she's been struggling with alcohol lately. I don't know how and when this started, but it's relatively new and needs to stop because after we got back, things got really bad. But she drank that night and heckled all the comedians because she thought she was watching an open mic show.
No.
Yeah, she thought she was watching an open mic show because she doesn't know that much about the Comedy Store. She didn't know that there's 15 comics in one night. The only time she's ever seen that is coming to see my shows, all my amateur shows or my open mics. She did, she's used to going to a professional show with 3 comics the whole night. She wasn't used to this, so she thought a lot of them were terrible,
Oh, no. Oh, my God. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It drove me crazy. But,
Are you okay? You sound really distressed.
I'm okay.
Like you kind of need a vacation.
That was my vacation.
Oh, my God. What else did she do? I mean, I don't mean to pry.
Oh, I don't mind telling you.
This may be preventative.
I don't mind telling you. She just kept bragging about me at conventions and stuff and saying, oh, my son does this, my son does that. Mom, they don't give a fuck. Let me tell you something. We live in an age now where the internet has spawned so many liars and wannabes and fakes. They don't want to hear from fucking fans, coming to the convention saying, I do this, I do that. If you're working with them, then they believe you, and then they want to help you. If you're just there as a fan, you're just a fucking creepy fan to them. So stop that, She didn't get that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
She didn't get that, And it just drove me crazy. But there was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun there. I met Paul Rubens.
Oh, you did? Good.
I spent 2 hours and 30 minutes in his line.
Oh, my God. It's so funny. I haven't seen him, honestly, in years.
Ugh.
I've heard from him through other people, and you just go, dude, seriously. He used to send Harper a Christmas card every year, but that stopped.
Mm-hmm. He's a sweet guy, though.
So it's wonderful. He's a very sweet man. He's a good man.
Mm-hmm.
He's a caring man.
Yeah,
I'm glad you got to meet him. I always liked him.
Yeah, he was a great guy. I enjoyed meeting him so much. That was like a highlight. And I also, one guest I met up with that he worked with for many years in the Groundlings is Terry Bolo, who's she's like the queen of bit part roles in late 70s, early 80s movies. She was in Pee-wee's Big Adventure and all that stuff. And she had told me what a great guy he was and stuff. She's got so many great stories about the Groundlings and coming up with him and stuff.
Oh, that's good. Wow, who else did you meet? Did he talk to you about anything, or did you get to? Oh
yeah, I told him that I'm friends with Terry and all that stuff, and he said, "Oh, Terry's a lovely person," And I told him about all the people I've interviewed, including you and stuff, and he's like, "Oh God, you've interviewed everybody I know."
Oh man, I'm so glad you got to meet him. That's so nice.
It was worth the 2.5 hours. I got metal in my leg from my accident and stuff, but it was worth it.
Oh man, 2.5 hours.
Yeah, the last time I did. It would be worth it. It would be. Yeah, the last time I did that was when I went at Robert Englund, Freddy Krueger last year. I spent over 2 hours, and that was because he talks to every fan for 15 minutes.
Oh my God. I heard he was pretty amazing. That he was a really nice person. I've never met him, but that's incredible. I don't think anybody does that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Paul talked to everybody for a long time, too. What was the question, hon?
Oh, that's really nice to you. Huh?
Oh, I thought you were asking me something.
I wanted to know who else you met.
Oh, who else?
I wanted to know who else you met.
Let's see. I met Chris Sarandon, very sweet man. I told him, I said, you're one of the great American actors. And he said, thank you, Tommy. That's very nice of you. And he's known for being an asshole on movie sets, but he was a nice guy.
It's you. How could it be nasty to you? Jesus.
Yeah. Jason Patrick from The Lost Boys, who, by the way, is Jackie Gleason's grandson. He was cool.
I didn't know that. That's very cool.
Yeah, he hates his grandfather. He, doesn't like to talk about him and stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a weird thing. It's like you admire people and still work and stuff. And most of the time when you get to meet them, they're pretty cool. Every once in a while you just meet a genuine asshole. And it's such a disappointment.
Yeah. Oh, okay. There's a radio show I listened to that's based out of L.A. They were there in the vendor room. I was so looking forward to meeting these guys and talking shop because I'm a podcaster too, what have you. They were fucking pricks. They didn't even acknowledge me. They were these fucking four dirty old men talking to these girls half their ages, and one of them did talk to me, and it sounded like he was interrogating me because he thought I was a crazy person just standing there, fucking being creepy. Yeah, and I called them out on Facebook about it too.
Oh, good. That's ridiculous. That's not going to help them.
No.
It's not going to help them. Nobody likes that crap.
Then they did something the other day that was very redeeming. They, Carrie Snow.
Yes.
Carrie, she had a stroke last summer, and she's been going through an awful lot, and she's been having to have, all these GoFundMes and crowdfunding, for her health and everything. They apparently are good friends with her, and they helped her out. They posted, donate GoFundMe to our good friend Carrie Snow and all that stuff. I was like, okay, they're not that bad, but still, I just wish they would have been nicer to me.
It's amazing to me because, people do good things, and then I think the thing that gets me is that after being in this business for so long, and meeting all these people and having all these experiences, and, you just get this view of what it would be like if you were, really famous. And it just reaches to face behavior and betrayals and being used and, oh, God. And people are so nasty on one hand, and then everybody's insane. They'll help you, but then, just an average person, would they help that person?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
With behaviors like that, when they're at a convention like that, that's a really bad representation of them.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful thing they did for Carrie. Nobody deserves to be helped more than Carrie. She was always very helpful to everybody else. So, thank God for that, for them helping her. But, geez, it takes less energy to be nice than it does to be nasty.
Mm-hmm.
And I should know.
When I it's funny. When I interviewed Carrie, I had put it off for a while because I had heard through another comic that she was a real twat bag back in the 80s, right? And when I interviewed Carrie, she surprised me. Oh my God, she had great stories. And this was 3 days before she had the stroke. I interviewed her.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And it was.
Oh my God.
And it was the day before she went to Mitzi's memorial, and she just had all these great stories, and she had a lot of insight and wisdom when I talked to her.
Oh yeah, she knows. She knows stuff. Lots of stuff. What's funny is I didn't work with her much or anything, but
yeah,
we were in the same places doing the same things occasionally. She was always just so nice to me. And, she was just a nice person.
Mm-hmm.
So it really struck me as odd when I first started hearing that she wasn't very nice, and I was going, well, what did you do? Because if somebody's nice to me, I figure they're going to be nice to other people.
Yeah.
I just sound sarcastic. I can take it morning to people when they're, what's that supposed to mean? It's like, Jesus, I'm sorry.
But I mean, you don't sound sarcastic to me right now.
Oh, good, because I don't feel sarcastic. I feel sniffy, I feel sinusy, and I wish to God CBS would get the Sudafed back in. But that's my worst worry.
Well, I got good news for you. This summer, I'll be moving out to LA for a trial run.
Oh wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So we'll get to see each other finally. But I got offered a movie role. Yeah, I got offered a movie role out there.
You did? What is it? Where?
It's a mob movie, and I don't think I look like a mob guy at all, but the director who I interviewed on my podcast said I'd be perfect for it. I was like, okay, I'm not going to argue with him.
Yeah, never argue with the director. They are the god of the moment.
Yeah.
I know that because a director told me that once. Honestly, a director actually told me that once. I am the god of the moment. I was like, cool, okay. Feel better now? Can we get to work? Just walked in and made this announcement. I am the god of the moment. And we're all looking at each other going, okay, he's got issues. Okay.
Cancel his subscriptions.
Yeah. Well, you should be a good gangster. I thought you would be.
Yeah, I'm gonna rub it in you in. See, you know.
Well, you're not stereotypical, but it's better that way. You want to be a stereotypical looking gangster guy.
Yeah.
Do you?
Nah, I don't know. I don't have the script. I haven't seen it yet. He just offered me this part, and so when I read it, then I'll know what kind of gangster movie it is.
Yeah, I love gangster movies. Isn't that silly?
No, it's not silly
really
at all.
Do.
I love.
What did we watch?
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say we watched one of the Avenger movies for the 4th time last night.
For the 4th time.
I get stuck in these movies that I really like, and then I watch them over. And I think, what am I missing? I don't know. Do I care? I'm not sure.
I can't watch an Avengers movie 4 times.
We're not quiet. We're watching in the living room, and then we make comments.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's like that. We're very noisy movie watchers at home. But if anybody says a word in a movie theater, I will fight them. That's all.
Oh, I hate that.
Oh my God. My daughter yaps through television and movies. She just talks all the time. You know what that reminds me of? I'm like, no. Maybe the plot? Would that be... And she tells you, like, well, it's Law and Order. And within the first 10 minutes, she'll go, okay, this is the plot, this is who's guilty, this is what's going to happen. And she's never wrong, which makes me wonder, is she going online and watching these before us? Or is she just truly gifted?
Could be all of the above.
She's smart enough to know that we didn't think of her watching them before us. I did that for a while when we were watching game shows. They were stunned at my wisdom.
It's been a while since I watched a game show. I remember they rebooted.
Me too.
They rebooted Love Connection a couple of years ago, and I couldn't believe how gay friendly it is now compared to how it was back in the day when Chuck Woolery was hosting.
Oh yeah! Oh my God! I'm glad things aren't like they used to be in a lot of ways. I really am.
Yeah.
There's just travesty after travesty. There still is, but, at least people are more aware of it, which is a step in the right direction. A step.
Yeah.
So when are you doing this movie?
I don't know. It could be at the end of the year. It could be beginning of next year. He has a movie out already. It was on Amazon Prime. It's called American Warfighter. And Mark Wahlberg picked it up for distribution for theatrical recently. And I saw it on Amazon Prime last summer when we met him. And, oh, my God, it's one of the most hard-hitting movies I've ever seen about post-traumatic stress disorder from coming back from the war.
Oh, my God. I'm going to watch that. We just got Amazon Prime. because we're old people and it takes us a while.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's still on there right now because of the theatrical distribution, but you can check. But it's really, really good.
Oh, good. Good.
There's a part where he's getting into a bar fight. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
There's a part where he's getting into a bar fight, and his father defends his honor. It's so damn funny. And he was at the convention too. His name is Scott Ingrati. He's a very funny actor in his early 60s, and he's like
I know who he is.
You know him? Yeah.
I know who he is. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like defending his son's honor, and he's like, "Let me tell you something about this man. This is one grade A son of a bitch." I love that because it was a typical Scott moment too.
Oh my God! Oh man, that's exciting. I'm so glad for you. You're moving out here, and you're being in the States. It's just so cool.
Yeah.
You're making me happy.
Yeah, and this weekend I'm.
This is weird.
This weekend I'm filming.
No, you go ahead.
This weekend I'm filming the first episode, and it could be the only, I don't know, of my own horror hosting movie show up in San Francisco. Me and some friends were getting together and making this thing, and we're gonna put it on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, see if anybody responds to it.
Oh my God, how cool are you? What are you calling it?
Real Shockers. With 2 E's.
Oh, see, I like that.
Yeah, it was going to be called Real. It was going to be called Real Nightmares, and then I found out that name's taken by a film company in L.A.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's so cool. I've been looking more because of you. I've been looking into more podcasts.
Oh.
Real scary stuff and the paranormal stuff, and some of the names of these podcasts are just mysterious. I need to meet you so I can slap you home. The only reason I even looked at this because it was so dumb. I expected 6 voters to do it. Some of them are awful.
Do you want to name them?
No. Honestly, I don't remember the names. I watched one that has a woman. She has colored hair. What color is it? I think it's blue.
Mm-hmm.
And she was, intense. She was very intense and had every fact line up and knew all the mythologies and all the histories of, demons and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, my God. She was a little overwhelming, and I was kind of wondering, what, are you always like this? Is this you relaxed? Are you always this intense? Do you, watch cartoons ever? I don't know. You ever dance to Kids Bop because it's ironic? Do you do those things? It kind of scares me a little bit.
Oh my God, I want to hear that now.
But,
that reminds me.
Remember, you know what? I'll find out what her name is, what it is, and I'll email you.
Okay.
Because I don't remember. I don't remember things. This is what's getting to me, and I just don't remember. And it used to be my habit of not remembering people's names if they didn't hire me, because why? And I actually met a guy, a producer, 5 years after he didn't hire me. And I was finished the audition, and he goes, oh, my God, you're great. You're just fabulous. It's just too bad you're not pretty. And he goes, so, thanks for coming in. And they went, okay. So I met this guy 5 years later. Mm-hmm. And I didn't recognize him because I had blocked him. Because, that's what we do.
Yeah.
And he looked at me and goes, oh, hey, I'm so-and-so, and I didn't hire you. And I went, I don't remember you. And he goes, well, he repeated his name. I said, doesn't sound familiar. But then I block people that don't hire me. And he said, well, I don't blame you. I told you you weren't pretty enough. And I went, that's a bye. And I didn't realize he was really producing big things at the time, which was, I probably would have done the same thing anyway, but he followed me and he said, no. He said, you're just funny. And I would really like to work with you, and I'm sorry I said that. That was inappropriate. And I was like, okay, thanks. Am I pretty now?
Nah, I've always thought
you.
You
want to spit when you look at me?
I've always thought of you as pretty, Steph.
Oh, you're very kind. I hate this aging thing, man. Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'm not less talented than I was. If anything, I'm more, because I understand things better. You know, seriously. And it's one of those things where I just, like, I sit in rooms with women that are phenomenal actresses. Women that I just admire and respect, a couple of whom are heroes to me. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting in rooms with them going, why are you sitting here? Okay? You got a resume 10 times longer than mine. Everybody knows you. Why are you sitting here? Why? And anytime I ask, I'm like, well, you actually have to audition? They're like, well, once you hit a certain age. I'm like, oh my God. That's not right. That is not right. If you were Katharine Hepburn, they wouldn't ask you to audition.
Or Meryl Streep.
There's this weird sort of, yeah, exactly. There's this weird, you know, working actor thing, where if you're not really famous, then the older you get, the more you have to prove yourself.
I know.
That's fine. Honestly, I don't mind it because it's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Judy. I have a lot of respect for journeyman actors. Yeah. I have a lot of respect for journeyman.
I have no other skills.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, there are people that I've, you know, when I first started and I was young, there were character actresses that were much older than I, and you would run into them in those cattle call positions or in those buildings where there's one floor and 8 rooms and they're all casting. Mm-hmm. So everybody's in the hallway. And you would meet these people and they were kind and they would talk to you and tell you things and make you wise. And there's just, you know, and they're still there. And they're still in that room with me. And it's just the most amazing, wonderful thing. I have so much respect for that. Not giving up, you know, because there's I've talked to a few of them, there's incredibly dry times, you know, where they do nothing, and then all of a sudden it's like 5, 6 things. But the age thing really matters. It's just so bizarre to me. I mean, I get it. You know, I don't want to watch old people having sex on screen. You know? No. Keep that like 30 and under, okay? That's just, you know.
Watch, she's going to go for the flab.
Oh, God, what is that? It's okay. It's just my arm flab. Don't worry about it. Ignore that boil on my ass, okay?
Wow, she could fucking, you know, she could put her tit over her shoulder.
Things you never want to hear while you're having sex. Jesus, how many hemorrhoids do you have? You know what I hear.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
it's funny. I'm really not complaining. I'm just stunned. And I don't mind. You know, I have a callback tomorrow for a part in a movie that has 3 lines. I don't care. I really don't. I will go audition for it, and it's fine. There's so few things I won't do, you know. Mm. And it's fine. Yes, I'm going to be there. I'm going to get that goddamn part. All 3 of those fucking lines are mine.
Well, I have my script still. That guy that offered me the part in the movie, he wanted to talk about the script with me, but he brought a radio guy with him to the dinner, and that guy took over the whole conversation, just like my mom did. And that was the first night. That was supposed to be me, her, and you that night, and then it ended up being me and this director and this radio guy instead. We went to Roscoe's in Hollywood, which was a shitty location. I didn't like that one. I'd rather go to Pasadena. I'd rather go to Roscoe's in Pasadena. It's much better. But if I can get this movie made, you have a part in it, and you don't have to audition.
Oh,
Yes.
And I would break some of my I'm not doing that rules for you.
That's gonna be a contract step. That's gonna be a contract stipulation for me. No auditions for the people I want in this movie.
There you go. That's so cool. That's so great.
Yeah.
The only other thing I never had to audition for was Big Top TV.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that was so much fun doing that. He was so nice. Yeah, Crack Lobster for what? You're looking for a really good person.
I talked to V. Neal the other day.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I worship her. She's amazing.
Oh, we got along. We got along so well. She's got a dirty mind.
Does she? Good.
Yeah.
Good. Is she funny? I mean, is she just naturally? She's jocular. That'll work.
I wouldn't say that. Yeah, she's jocular. She's not naturally funny, but she's got great stories, and she's very blunt, and she tells it like it is, and she's really cool that way.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh my God, I would love to meet her. She's amazing. The things she's done, just amazing.
And she remembers you.
Imagine having the capacity.
She remembers you as that mermaid lady.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That was so fun. That was so much fun. Oh my God. That was fun. I didn't get to pee for days, but who cares? Fine, I'll get a kidney infection and bleed out my ass. It's not a problem. Seriously. That was so fun.
I didn't pee for two...
You have ants. I'm sorry. You have ants, and I'm just really angry about it.
You have ants?
Yeah, we have ants. Yay, springtime.
Oh my God. I didn't pee for I didn't pee for 2 months when I was in the hospital during my accident, so I can relate to that.
Oh my God. That is 2 months. Oh my God. How long did it take you to recover?
I'm still recovering, but I've gotten so much better, in the last 3 years. So,
Oh, Jesus. Okay, here's my question. Why do people like you have to go through that? And there are these assholes walking around being nasty 24/7 to anything and everybody, even small dogs. Nothing ever happens to them.
Oh, I think stuff does happen to them, but they just won't admit it.
So frustrating. It is just so frustrating.
It's sociopathy.
Yeah. Oh my God. Speaking of sociopathy, I didn't tell you. Did I tell you? We finally closed my mother's estate.
Oh yes, you told me. Yeah.
3 years. So I'm like, yay. I went into this really weird thing because for 3 years it's just been a legal battle.
Yeah.
And it's just so overwhelming that it really eats up the life. And it was really depressing for me because, fine, betray me, I expect that. But to deny our parents' deathbed wishes, which were easy-ass things to do, and to purposely and intentionally refuse to allow those to happen, okay, that pissed me off. That was depressing as hell. Who does that? My sister, apparently. But it's amazing because, her behavior, and then I watch what's going on with the president right now, and I'm going, we have so much in common. There's a sociopathy in there. There's this, you say whatever you want to say at the moment, and you believe it, and tell everybody else it's true, and it can just be a blatant lie.
Yeah.
And they don't care.
Yeah, it's like when I'm dealing with my brother, I mean, we have different fathers, His father was definitely a sociopath who abused him and stuff, and I think he picked up a lot of that. And now that he's drinking and, he has no job, he had his kids taken away from him, and he's powerless. he's trying to manipulate his way, showing love. But I think he's jealous of me a lot. And other people have said it.
Oh, he's got to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got to be. He has to be.
Yeah.
I just, it's bizarre. We grew up in the same house. We had the same parents. But I was with my dad 90% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And he was such a sweet, caring guy. And he just felt for everybody. And he was so tolerant, I didn't get the tolerance thing, but I tried. But it's just so bizarre to be so different from the same family. And I've been watching a lot of documentaries about that kind of stuff, trying to understand it. And it's like everybody that has a person like that in their family said you could tell early on that there was something seriously wrong. And when my sister picked me up by the ankles and dropped me on my head when I was 3 weeks old, that was a good indication.
That's how
and when my mother said, my mother asked her why she did that. My dad said, she said, because I don't want her. Hello.
Yeah.
Maybe separate bedroom.
I think
it's amazing. It's just amazing to me.
That's how I think you became the brilliant comedian that you are.
Hey, I don't know. I think my dad used to tell me if we don't laugh at things, we're just going to be so sad. So let's find out what's funny about this, Like with my mother, that great story, and I had a horrible argument, and I was crying, and my dad comes in and sits down, puts his arm on me, and he says, "What's the matter, honey?" I said, "There's something terribly wrong with mother." Because, of course, it couldn't be me,
Yeah.
It couldn't possibly have been me. And he said, she's so mean, she's going through a very difficult period in her life right now. And I said, menopause? And he said, oh no, you're adolescent.
Oh my God, speaking of documentaries, I was watching this British documentary about pedophiles on YouTube, right? And this woman was interviewing each of these pedophiles one by one. And this was an old documentary from like the 80s, early 80s, right? And this guy, he went into graphic detail about what he used to do to his son, and it was so fucking gross and cringing and just fucking disturbing, right? However, if he told that story on a stand-up stage, it would be fucking hilarious.
Oh my God, that's scary.
Yeah. Fucking,
whoa.
I'm sitting there listening to this.
I get what you're saying.
And, it's very difficult to offend me, as you know, but this did, because this was just disturbing and dark. But I kept thinking to myself, God, imagine, guys like all the comedians that are like popular now, like Joe Rogan and Bill Burr, like listening to this and fucking thinking it was the funniest shit they ever heard.
Wow. See, there you go.
Yeah.
It's only really funny when it's true.
Yeah.
And I guess the sicker it is, the more we have to laugh at it, because otherwise we'll die.
Yeah. I was just...
reality sets in. I think people just literally drop dead.
Yeah, it was just... Oh my God, it was just evil. I did not like it one bit.
Oh, God. I read this thing. I've just been watching the weirdest documentaries, and I watched one. I just saw it when I was going through the titles, and I was thinking, why does that sound familiar to me? I don't know anything about this. That name or that name. So I turn it on, and of course it's Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
You know that there are more murders in Ohio per capita than any other state.
Really?
Yeah. There's more abductions and more sexual abuse. It's like the dirt state.
Wow.
So I'm like flabbergasted every time I go to look at a documentary on a murder or some weird case or something. It's like Ohio, and I think, why? Why would that be? I mean, I'm from there.
Yeah.
Why would that be? Why would one state have more than another, especially a state like Ohio?
I have no idea.
There's just so much open space there. You
That is bad, yeah.
It's not like a huge population either. It's not like New York or Chicago or LA or, Detroit. It's not, doesn't have places of great populace like that.
Yeah.
It just freaks me out. Ugh. I wonder if there's a triangle or something in the landlines around there. See what I've been watching?
Yeah. Oh my God.
I can't help it. What's your favorite science fiction movie?
My favorite science fiction movie, it's probably Blade Runner.
Yes. Oh God, I love that. Did you like the remake?
I didn't see it. I'm very critical of remakes.
I didn't either. I didn't either. I couldn't. I just couldn't even fathom it.
Yeah.
Could not. And I didn't know if that was just being old and curmudgeon-y or like remaining true to the best thing that ever happened.
Curmudgeon-y. I like that.
Curmudgeon-y. Is that even a word? I don't know.
Well, the word curmudgeon is making a comeback because not only do I use it all the time, I hear so many people using it.
Really, that's a great word. I love that word. Curmudgeon. What's the other word my daughter and I were talking about? Oh, do you know what this means? 6 to 1, half dozen to the other.
No.
Okay. I grew up hearing that all the time. It's like, well, where should we go to dinner? What should we have for dinner? Should we have chicken or steak? Well, 6 to 1, half dozen to the other. And it was kind of like, either way's fine. Or it's 50-50, really, is what it means. Or you can see it this way and I'll see it that way, but we're both saying the same thing. My daughter says that out here, and people just stop and stare at her and want an explanation.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea. And I had no idea that things I grew up hearing are completely foreign. And what does it mean? It's Ohio. See? Maybe that's the problem. Maybe nobody in Ohio can understand anybody else in the rest of the world, so they just kill each other.
Yeah.
I do love Blade Runner, though. God, that was a good movie.
What movie?
Yeah.
What movie?
Blade Runner.
Oh, Blade Runner, yeah. The first script I ever wrote was a porno parody of Blade Runner called Lade Runner.
Oh.
I was 12 years old. I was writing this thing.
Oh, God.
That scene where Harrison Ford is interviewing Sean Young, and he's asking her this weird question, and she's like, "Are you asking me if I'm a replicant or a lesbian?" Well, in my version, he said, "Let's find out," and then brought in a girl.
Did you keep the dialogue down? Because, that's important.
I was 12. I was 12. I got rid of it. I was
12.
Yeah.
You were 12.
I was watching porn when I was 10.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. The other day,
Man, I was so innocent.
you're going to get a kick out of this. The other day, I'm interviewing that porn star, Christy Canyon. And, oh, my God, she was a character, I'll tell you. And she used to hang out at the Comedy Store in the late 80s, and she gave me a list of all the comedians she used to fuck, right? Oh, my God. She fucked Kinnison, she fucked Dice, she fucked Robin Williams, she fucked Paul Rodriguez. And fucking, she told me she wanted to fuck Louis Anderson, but she found out he was gay.
Yeah, that's a mission gone sideways there.
Yeah.
Just leave him alone.
She likes big guys. She likes big guys. I think she would like me. Yeah.
Oh, my God. How funny is that? I know what that is. A porn guy. After.
Oh, every year at Monsterpalooza.
Yeah.
Every year at Monsterpalooza, except this year, I see Ron Jeremy there.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah. He's a horror fan.
Wow, that's very cool to know. See, you just don't know.
Yeah.
It's like this guy I was talking about is, I worked with him several times, and he did small roles on, like, Unhappily Ever After, you know?
Yeah.
And he's like a bodybuilder, so he did roles like that. And he was just the nicest guy, and we talked and chatted it up and stuff, and then, you know, we find each other on Facebook, and I'm looking at his page, and I'm going, holy shit, what do you do? And his answer was, what don't I do? And I went, okay.
Yeah. I gotta...
It's so funny, because, you know, I realized my prejudice right then and there. Because I'm thinking, oh, he's such a great guy. He's so nice. He's smart, you know. And then the minute I found out he does porn, I'm shocked. I shouldn't be shocked at that. You know?
Yeah.
Are they all rude, nasty, stupid people? No. It's just...
Yeah.
So, yeah, I had to realize there for a minute about 5 years ago. I was going, oh, man, you think terrible things about an actor. It's not sick.
I got an account with Hulu, and I've been binge watching Married with Children, and I was hoping Unhappily Ever After was going to be on there, but it wasn't.
They have never released Unhappily Ever After in the United States.
Now.
They released it in Spain.
Yeah.
And in Spain, I was El Grande. I did interviews for Spanish language magazines. I was on the cover of one. But they've never released it anywhere but, I think, Spain and Germany are the two places.
Mr. Floppy.
England. You know what's amazing? When I was going through my mom's house before I realized I should have listened to her. And she said, you go home and pack up all the shit you could possibly get before your sister gets here, or you will get nothing. And I'm like, well, she wouldn't do that. You make choices and you have a will, and she'll do anything, you know. She's like, oh God, you finally come and clean. Okay. And I didn't do it. And I had given her one Mr. Floppy. They gave me 3. And there were only like 9 of them. And I gave one to the newborn baby of, this is weird. I used to go to this pharmacy that is now in a different neighborhood, so I don't go there anymore. Mm-hmm. And this really nice young pharmacist's wife, they worked together. She was pregnant. She had this little boy, and he had Down syndrome.
Oh.
And they were so young, and it was so much, and they both, you know, this is their pharmacy. They're young, married people. You know, this is all new stuff. Their whole world is new. And I had Mr. Floppy in a bag with me when I went to pick something up one day. And I think I was going to go have him hermetically sealed. Is what I was going to do. To preserve his ass. And she just looked at me and she just burst into tears and says, that's the only thing my son responds to, Mr. Floppy. And I handed him to her. And well, there you go. So I gave him one. And, you know, which was probably not the smartest thing to do.
Yeah.
That was not a child-approved toy. You know what I'm saying? That was not a child-approved toy. That was a maybe this is how we're going to make the puppet toy. And then the other one I gave to my dad, and I had a third one. And when I was going through my mom's house trying to find Mr. Floppy, my sister had been there on her own for a day. And I found Mr. Floppy stuffed in a pail, a bucket, with like cleaning supplies on top of him and a towel over that. Mm-hmm. And I just took that out of there and I looked at her and I went, all you could do is ask. You could ask. You could ask. But I said, but since you did this, no, I'm sorry. But I thought, what kind of crazy years old, hides that. Like, just like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's Mr. Floppy, okay? It's not like a bar of gold or...
You don't talk to me anymore. I'm done with you. You'll be the only one who'll speak to me. Oh, God. She's so full of shit. She's walking around the house and she's like, for years, she's a genius computer hacker. She writes computer programs for the most important medical surgeries and, blah, blah. Mm-hmm.
She gets an iPhone for the first time. And this is like 2 days after my mother died. And she's walking around the house
Mm-hmm.
going, I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it. And she's like really angry and always really angry with anything that isn't perfect to her.
Yeah.
And she's like raging. How do you fucking turn off the roaming? I told her. She said, well, computer hacker, first we go to settings.
Oh my God.
And she's so crazy she hasn't been doing what she said she'd been doing. But didn't find the roaming on her phone.
Yeah, I gave up sex for Lent.
Did you?
Yeah. It was very difficult.
I gave up. What did I give up? Oh, I gave up meat. That was stupid. Well, then so did you.
Yep, snapper fish. I gave up snapper fish.
I'm sorry. See, I'm going to eat a cough drop. You see, you make me laugh tonight. I'll cough.
Okay.
It's fine. You know what it's like to have a doctor tell you, you're a really bad cougher. I'm like, oh, thank you.
Thank you, you noticed.
Having a contest. I didn't know there was some sort of meeting thing going on. Do I have to wear a button now or should I go sit in the corner? You're just a really bad cougher. If you could cough harder, you'd get more gunk up. And I went, well, maybe that's why I don't. Maybe I just... That's the weirdest thing to be told, though, is you're a lousy cougher. I'm like, dude, of all the things. I accept being bad at certain things, but coughing made no sense. I'm insulting. So how did you get through it then? Nervously?
Yeah, it was a lot of just, it was torture, especially when the last week of it was in LA and I'm surrounded by all these gorgeous, free-spirited women, and it was really difficult. But right at midnight on the 18th, going into the 19th, I masturbated, and it was a sweet victory.
Yay! Were there fireworks? Streamers? Glitter?
If you count my squirting semen, yes, those were firecrackers.
There you go. And glitter. It's not really sawdust,
Yeah, it was. I don't think I'll do it again. But yeah, there are episodes.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. There are episodes of Unhappily Ever After that are on YouTube, and this one I saw, you were friggin' hilarious in it.
Thank you. Which one was it? What was I doing?
It was one of the first season ones. I can't remember, other than there was a part where you and what's his name, the husband, were talking about when you both you used to, or when you both were happy in your marriage, you used to tell each other lies and stuff. You were just so damn funny the way you said it.
Jeff Pearson, that's the guy's name. Jeff Pearson. He's amazing. Oh my God, he's an amazing guy. An amazing actor.
Never really saw him in
much fun to do.
Yeah, I never really saw him in other stuff. I never saw Jeff Pearson in other stuff. Mm-hmm.
For quite a while. Played one of the top cops. Mean guy. He plays a mean guy really well, which is funny because he's so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
So that was fun to do.
What?
That was weird. I remember the pilot, you know, we were just rehearsing, and it was like Jerry Cohen directed. I think Jerry Cohen directed that one.
Yeah.
I love Jerry Cohen. I'm just saying it.
I heard he's a good guy.
And then he'll let you explore. Yeah. And that one just hands me a check. And I look at the check, and then because I'm doing what you would do. If your estranged husband who lives in your basement owes you money, and he hands you a piece of paper folded, you're going to open that piece of paper, right? So I looked at the check, and it was upside down, so I turned it right side up. Because this is how I act. If I'm doing something, I'm going to do it the way it really happens. And Jerry, first I can hear him laughing, and he said, "That's beautiful, that's perfect." And I just got a note from upstairs saying, "We don't have time for acting. Cut that. Just put the check in your pocket." And he actually said, "We don't have time for acting." And that's not what they said. And right then and there, I went, "I think I'm in love with this movie."
And
he always says it like, you know, how it is, which is what you need. And he doesn't pamper actors, but he will make you think you thought of something he thought of.
Yeah.
Which is a gift. That is a gift.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you're sitting there watching it after a few weeks, and it's on air, and you're watching it yourself and hating everything about you. And then you go, "Hey, that's funny. I thought of that. I didn't think of that."
Mm-hmm.
They made me do that.
And
that's a really good director when it makes you feel like you've done everything on your own.
yeah. And Nikki Cox looked like she could be your daughter.
Yeah, so she could be.
Yeah.
She actually could be. She was such a little cutie pie in the beginning, wasn't she?
Yeah, yeah.
And all that puberty hit her.
What?
I said all that puberty hit her.
And then puberty hit her.
Didn't hit her. It ran over her with a truck.
What? So why did you leave the show?
Coming back after. Why did I leave?
Yeah.
They fired me.
Oh. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was one of those really weird things where I was pregnant, and I got into the executive producers, and they were great. We'll deal with it. And it was just really funny the way we were dealing with it, and I had the most miserable fucking pregnancy on the planet. Not really, but at the time, you know, it feels like you're. I'm like, oh God, I'm going to have rectal prolapse every time I stand up. It was a joy. And when I'm pregnant, it's like, I don't know, 5 minutes till 5 o'clock on the final day of notification for the next season. And I get a phone call from one of the writing co-producers who actually wanted to play the part of Jeannie Malloy, and they wouldn't let her do it. And so she was always nasty to me. "You're too fat, you know, you should do this, and you should go this. She just was always so nasty to me. And she was nasty to Mickey. She called Mickey fat and flabby.
Oh.
And I was like ready to punch her. I was like, you know, pick on me, because I've been picked on. I am a grown person. This is a child who is fucking scrawny. She was just like 0, 0. And you're telling her she's fat and flabby. Oh my God, that made me so mad. Because Nikki was she was such a good girl in puberty.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I was, she called me and told me, "Oh, I'm sorry, I should willing to come back for less than 1/6 of what I was making. We're going to have to let you go because the show is costing too much money." And I said, "Well, I have a favored nations contract." She goes, "Well, then you're not coming back next year." I said, "Great. Send me the paperwork." So I literally had just had heartburn. I think it was 6 days before. 6 days before this phone call. And so she sends me the paper. I sign the paper. She signs the papers. There's another signature on the paper. One of the executive producer, like the head guy with Disney, who was our parent company.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm done. I'm off the show. And I'm like, this is okay. I really want to stay home with this creature I just gave birth to. I really did. I was like, I don't know what happens to you when you have all these plans about how you're going to be. And then this little creature is in your arms and you go, fuck everybody.
Yeah.
I'm staying right here and don't anybody touch either one of us. It's me and my little bee.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So it wasn't like, I was hurt because, that's just the way it was presented to me and everything. And I was also had postpartum depression, which, doesn't help you feel happy.
Yeah.
I actually had postpartum anxiety, which is different than depression. Because I was anxious. That's why I didn't want anybody else around us. I didn't want to leave. And so fine. So the next day I get an email and a fax from Disney telling me that I'm going to go back to work where they're going to sue me. I said, but I'm fired. And they didn't know. And she fired me without anybody's permission. And to this day, we don't know if that's the person who signed it that had the authority to sign it knowingly or if she just forged his signature. But they didn't want me fired. She wanted me fired. So she fired me.
Yeah.
And so they threatened me to come back to work. And I said, I'll come back to work if you pay me this. And I get this much money to compensate me for the emotional duress you have put me through with my brand new baby and my postpartum anxiety. And I had blood poisoning. So I was sick. Nope, we're not going to do it. I said, great, see you around. Sue me. We're going to sue you, and we don't care. We're going to sue you for your house, your clothes, your cars, everything you want, and we don't care if you and your baby have to sleep in the streets.
Oh, my God.
I'm like, real? Is this the happiest place on earth?
That's good. That's good. I like that. So I go in a meeting with all these guys, and there's like 3 or 4 lawyers, and this guy and that guy, and the head of this and the head of that. Every head in the world was there. And there's me and my lawyer, who was a fucking pussy. And at one point, I actually said, okay, you're fired. Get out of the room. And he's going, just take the thing off of you and be quiet. I'm like, no. Everything they've done to me is illegal. And I looked at him and said, you know what? You either give me what I want, I'm going to drive to my publicist's office, and we're going to call everybody. Because really? Disney is the family place? That way to me. And I got up and started to walk out the door. I said, seriously, I don't care. Sue me. But first, we're going to have a news conference. Wait a minute. I got what I wanted. And in exchange, I did go back on the show for, I think it was 6 episodes, but I made him pay me for the whole year. Wow. Good for you, girl.
But yeah, that's what happened. And then they asked me to come back, and I said, no, I'm not coming back. I'm not going to work anymore with that woman. I have a child now, and I have absolutely no interest in going through this crap. And that's what I told him. So there's no amount of money you can give me that's going to make me come back and work with that woman. You need to fire her.
Yeah.
And unless you do, I'm not coming back. And I didn't go back.
Good. I stopped watching the show by that point because it really sucked without you. I mean, it was just like, there's something missing from this show. It's all about the kids now in high school, and it was just really stupid, I thought. You know?
Well, that was this woman's idea, was to, with me gone, make it about Mickey, and then they can do a whole spin-off with Mickey, and it'll be a whole other generation, and it didn't work out.
Yeah, did they even try a Mr. Floppy spin-off? Yeah, wasn't there like a Mr. Floppy spin-off they were going to do?
Honestly, I don't really know what they were going to do, because Jeff and I talked, and they actually said to me at one point, and Kevin and I talked, and they both said to me, I said, I just really don't want to know.
Yeah.
That was such a brutal thing to go through. It's such a horrible time for me. I was just sick. I was physically back in
Yeah.
And I have so much anxiety because of it. Me and Mom, and I'm told I'll never have another kid. That was it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on. And I just thought, I don't really want to. I'm done now, so I got what I wanted, and I don't really care what they do. I can't care what they do.
Mm-hmm.
So Bob and Arthur, who were the creators, and did Married with Children and all that, were the greatest guys on the planet. They really were. They never did anything that was right to the whole human being.
Yeah, the best way Ed O'Neill described Ron Levitt and Michael Moyer when they wrote for Married with Children is that one was a little bit more grosser than the other, and the other was a little bit more whimsical.
Yep, that was Matt and Arthur, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
God, it's just the shit that they wrote. I mean, the way they made White Trash so funny with those shows, it was just brilliant. When I watch the shows now on Hulu, I'm just cracking up. I just can't believe they got away with so much stuff. One of my favorite lines, my two favorite lines on Married with Children ever. Kelly is like complaining to Al that she's on her period, and he says, "Walk it off." And then the other one.
Great stuff. They wrote such great stuff.
Yeah, and then the other one, Al's like, "I love my car more than anything," and Bud's like, "Hey, Dad, what about us?" And he's like, "You need a Q-tip?"
And when they had Sam on, Sam Kinison was on.
Oh, yeah.
Married with Children is, oh, God. That was insane. That was outrageous. It was wonderful.
His brother told me he denies that Sam was the first choice to play Al Bundy originally, and that's just one of those rumors out there. But so many people have told me, no, it's a true story. But yeah, I was glad that he got to be on that 2-part episode where he's the guardian angel of Al's.
That was so perfect.
Yeah.
I heard he was supposed to be in the original script too, but I don't know. That was just so bizarre.
And Roseanne was going to be Peg, but then she was like, the show's about the guy, not about me. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no. Oh, I read in my newspaper feed the other day that she's quitting.
Quitting the business?
No, she's queer. Roseanne came out and said, I'm queer.
Oh, my God. Her mental illness is like shot up into overdrive. And I'm not saying that you're mentally ill if you're queer. I'm just saying she thinks she's everything.
I know, it's like, how many groups do you want to belong to? Because you got to pay dues,
Yeah.
Show up for the meetings.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
But I read that and I just went, oh, for Christ's sake, out loud, It was just like, when are you going to stop? Still.
Oh my God, I was talking to, yeah. I was talking to Monica Piper a couple of weeks ago. You know her?
Oh, yes, I do.
Yeah, we were talking.
I love her. I haven't seen her in years.
Yeah, we were talking about the Roseanne scenario. She was like really mad at her for what she did, last year and stuff. And one thing that surprised me about the whole scenario is I'm surprised that she didn't even attempt to sue ABC, because there were a couple things that happened that she could have, sued them for, but she chose not to go that route.
I always wondered why she didn't do anything. I mean, she just went, oh, okay. And she didn't sue him, and she didn't. I wonder what. First thing I said was, what the hell else has she done that she doesn't want other people to know? Because you don't just walk away like that.
Yeah.
Or at least he said she wouldn't. He didn't think. But, who knows?
Yeah, I mean,
Do not know.
She could have sued for wrongful termination, defamation of character, breach of contract, lots of stuff. You know.
Yeah. And I'm like you. I was really shocked she didn't. She didn't even mention it.
And what ABC did, it has served as a really bad business model because similar stuff has happened to other people since. Maybe even a little bit before that, you know, once Trump got elected and stuff. But it's just gotten, the business has gotten so mean and really heartless now. I mean, it always has been. I mean, obviously, you know, the story you just told me, you know, even though it's going back 20 years, you know, that's pretty heartless what happened, but it's gotten just completely out of hand now.
Yeah, and it's amazing, you know, I'm not supposed to tell that story. It's like, okay, tell me not to do it, and I'll do it twice, okay?
Yeah.
It's not written down on a piece of paper, so I don't have to listen to you. And the bizarre thing is that everybody that was doing Disney during that time, that did all that, they're gone.
Oh, yeah. They're all gone.
You know, the whole turnover. That's another thing I don't think civilians understand is about the phenomenal turnover in this business.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, today's receptionist is tomorrow's executive. You know, you just don't ever know how things are going to work out.
Well, they're sufficient.
So, you know, I just sit and watch, and I'm constantly amazed.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're sufficient in their typing skills, but they're also sufficient in their kneeling skills as well.
That's true. You pray at the altar and you'll go a lot farther.
Yeah.
It just is true. And it's amazing to me because I just, you know, it's got mean and spiteful and, you know, it's like one big entrapment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It's just, you have to be so careful what you say and so careful what you do. I mean, if people are listening to you, no one listens to me, so that's okay.
Oh, yeah, I heard.
And if they do, then they're just going to agree with me. So.
Yeah. About a month ago, I heard Lenny Clark.
And they're already there.
Yeah. About a month ago, I heard Lenny Clark on a podcast, right? And, you know, after he did one of the Rodney specials, you know, he got a development deal for CBS. He had a sitcom that lasted like maybe 6 episodes or 13 or something. And he told the story about how it ended, right? He would just be sarcastic and smart-assed to all the executives at CBS and stuff. And after a while, you know, they couldn't take it no more. So that's why his show got canceled.
That's right.
Yeah, because he would be making smart-ass comments, you know. It's like they have no sense of humor. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go.
They were just, you know, they have no sense of humor, you know. The only time they laugh is when they're going to the bank, you know. And the show wasn't making money, you know, and they didn't think he was funny after a while, and that's why, you know, he lost the show.
Man. See, that's what I don't understand. I have, you know, in the last, since I've done a couple of shows where they're just racing, they're fun, and they're relaxed, and they've been doing this for a while, and you can enjoy your work.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Everybody does it, everybody's on mark, everybody's got it down.
Right.
And you can enjoy your work, and it's fun to work. And then I've been on sets where if you even smile during a set scene, when they're shooting a scene, if you even smile and somebody sees you, you better not laugh. I'm like, okay. I was just watching and appreciating the talent of that person and smiled. So sorry. I moved to air. Okay, sorry. I'll do that again.
Make sure you don't fart.
Oh, God, help us all. Most, you know, I don't know. It's just really weird. It's so weird. Everything feels weird.
Yeah.
I I just don't know. Where are we going? What the hell?
Yeah, don't know where they're...
Remakes?
Yeah, there's so many remakes. You know?
And I'm just so disappointed in, the whole college scandal thing. That is so stupid.
Oh, my God. I have a new joke in my act. I said, I was watching my favorite episode of Full House. The one where Aunt Becky teaches the girls about the value of money?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. She's fighting it. I didn't really do anything wrong. It was like, Aunt Becky.
Aunt Becky.
You stupid cow. What's wrong with you? Are you just standing in the middle of the field mooing? Pay attention.
I was very surprised about her. I wasn't surprised about Felicity Huffman. I've never liked her. I've always thought of her as kind of full of herself.
It's funny. I've never seen an interview with her. I try to avoid interviews with actors now because then I'll find out if I like them or not, and then it kind of ruins movies for me that I want to watch. Because I'm not that big of a person, really.
Mm-hmm.
I can't watch Mel Gibson movies anymore. I just can't.
Yeah.
Cannot do it.
Yeah, I watched these interviews.
Yeah, I was surprised with her.
Yeah. So, I was watching these interviews, the Archive of American Television, where they interview TV legends and stuff, right? And Felicity Huffman was on there, and I was just, I couldn't get through it after about 10 minutes. She was just, me, I'm this, I'm that. It was like watching my mother when we're having dinner. I couldn't get through it. Oh, and you know who's another one, too, on there is Les Moonves. He's another.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I was with him. You don't have to think anything of him. He's very careful.
Yeah.
Just put it that way. You must bow your head when the great silverback walks by. Okay.
Oh my God.
It's just so funny to me because you could be on these sets with these phenomenal, rude, nasty egos. And the whole time I'm sitting there going, I am a little Quaker girl from a tiny town in Ohio. It's a fucking miracle I'm here at all. Y'all just go ahead and be you. I don't care. But I cannot keep my mouth shut. I'm always saying something sarcastic to somebody. I can't help it. I don't know what it is. I really try.
Yeah.
I try. But sometimes you just can't. I mean, I auditioned for somebody for this guy that took over nurses the last year.
Yeah.
Many years later, I auditioned for him, and I walked into the room, and he turned white as a ghost. and I looked at him and went, no, I'm the one who's supposed to be shocked and to fear. You're the one who's supposed to be superior. At least that's what you told me. Okay, I'm auditioning for you.
Oh, man.
I didn't get the part. But if I kept my mouth shut, I might have. But no, I couldn't. Did not.
Oh, that sucks.
This is the guy who told me I wasn't pretty enough to be a love interest for anybody. He couldn't imagine anybody ever wanting to date me. And I went, I've had 3 husbands. How many of you had? And that question confused him so much he got mad and just told me to leave. Dude, you just need to lighten up. We would have raffles on the show, right?
Yeah.
He would supply, he was the showrunner, so he would supply the prize. He won every single one. How did that happen? All those raffles. And we all bought into those raffles. And he won every single time. What a lucky guy.
Yeah.
he's still out there. And maybe he's changed. I don't know. I haven't seen him for probably 8 years, so.
Yeah, that reminds
me. He had an epiphany.
That reminds me of a story that I heard where Roseanne asked Alan Stephen to go to Warren Littlefield's office at NBC to have this meeting with him on her behalf because Littlefield wanted her to do an intro for one of the biopics that they were doing at NBC about Roseanne and Tom Arnold, right?
Yeah.
Alan Stephen is in Warren Littlefield's office for an hour, eating every M&M out of his bowl, and then he finally shows up, and he's very rude and unfriendly, doesn't have a sense of humor like a lot of those executives, and like he's like making all these demands that Roseanne has to do this and that and whatever, and then Alan Stevens says, you can't. Then he says, you can't do that to her. Then it looks like she's not going to take part in this, right? And then he says, and then Littlefield says something like, "Yeah, well, I guess then we're not going to have her do the intro, right?" And then Alan Stevens says, "Yeah, but you can compensate me by getting more M&Ms."
My God. See, now this is bad because it makes it sound like everybody's like that. That's not true. Not everybody's like that.
Yeah.
There's some good, nice people, decent people out there. I've heard. No, I know.
When you were working at Disney, it was what's his name, Eisner and Katzenberg there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like that place is synonymous with them.
Oh yeah, and it was interesting because Disney was doing some stuff that I just thought was horrible. I mean, a bunch of us thought it was horrible, but like he was going to cancel the days. Every year they used to have it. I don't know if they're doing it again or not, but they used to have one day, a night every year where they would close the park and they would let kids with disabilities have the park for free. The whole park, everything.
Shit.
And they would make it so it was safe for them,
Mm-hmm.
An awesome thing to do. He wanted to cancel it because it wasn't money making. And we were all just incensed when we heard about it. He came by to set up a couple of times. But it was funny because I never said anything to him. I mean, I did once, but yeah, he borrowed a cigarette from me. And I was standing outside smoking, and he came out and goes, "Give me a cigarette. If you ever tell me I borrowed a cigarette from you, I'll call you a liar." And I went, "You do the first." Go ahead. He didn't find any humor in that at all.
Yeah.
And I stood there and talked to him, and he was so uncomfortable. I've never seen anybody that uncomfortable. You know what I mean? It's like he just wanted to take his skin off and shake it or something. He was so intensely uncomfortable. And you could just feel it. It was so bizarre. But that was our beginning of our little talk. I do remember that Bobcat said something to him about that. Like, bowled out.
Mm-hmm.
Hideous. And I think he pretended like he didn't hear it. I don't remember him saying anything. He just kept walking. And I was like, oh, that's one way to handle challenges.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's a weird fucking.
You're doing the handicap.
Yeah, it's a weird fucking world we live in.
I don't know if they're doing it just. It is strange. It is strange. Explain it to me because I'm confused.
Yeah, I know.
Life. You have to explain life to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still learning it myself.
Oh my God. My kid is just like so funny. She read Anton LaVey's.
Oh my God.
The Devil's Bible. She don't know about him, and she's like, "Have you ever read this guy?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I know all about him." She goes, "Why didn't you tell me?" I said, "Well, you're just not 21." And I don't know. Sometimes between the age of birth and 21, I didn't really have an opportunity to say, well, let's sit down and discuss Anton LaVey and the satanic I said, I never sat you down and talked to you about the other guy in the other Bible, so it didn't seem weird.
Oh, my God.
And she read it. She locked herself up in her room, and she read the whole thing, and she comes out, and she goes, well, that's funny. And I went, the book? She goes, well, it makes a lot of sense. It makes more sense to me. And I just went, you get it, then? She goes, yeah, the whole thing was a satire. I'm like, good girl, okay. Good girl.
Have you ever noticed Anton LaVey looks like Ming the Merciless from Flash Gordon?
Mm-hmm. My husband pointed that out.
Yeah. I'm going to be meeting Flash. I'm going to be meeting Flash Gordon at a convention next month.
Really?
Sam Jones, yeah.
That's so much fun.
I reached out to him for an interview, so fingers and toes crossed on that.
Oh, man, I hope so. That's so cool. That's just really great.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Oh, I wanted to ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Have you ever heard of a movie? I'm sure you have, but you know the horror movie, The Shout?
I've heard of it, yeah.
1978 with Alan Bates and John Hurt.
Yeah.
I had not seen that movie literally since probably 1978. And I found it on Amazon.
Yeah.
I watched it yesterday. I don't feel well. I mean, when I watched it in 1978, I thought I understood it. And when I watch it now, and I'm going, what? Have that ever happened to you? You watch a movie and then years later you watch it again and go, oh, God, I don't know.
Too many movies to name, yes.
Yeah, I felt kind of oddly sickened by it and yet intrigued. Maybe that was the whole point. But I was just like, what on earth? My God. And Alan Bates is just so disgusting.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, not as a person, but he plays those disgusting guys so well. Well played.
He was a brilliant actor.
He still is, I don't know.
Yeah, he was a brilliant actor.
Amazing. Just amazing. One eyebrow. There you go. I was just shocked because I'd forgotten all about that movie, and then all of a sudden there it was, staring me down, dropping the gauntlet.
Oh, there's one movie I could mention that I've been trying to ponder. There was a movie I watched in the late 80s when I was a little kid that was really funny. It still is pretty funny and pretty entertaining. It's called Hunk. It's a bedazzled Faust legend type of story of selling your soul to the devil type of story. And I look at it now. I can't believe how much plot they put into this little exploitation movie and how much layers of confusion there is, but yet it still comes out pretty entertaining by the end of the movie. I just can't get over it. And I'm trying to reach out to a couple people from the movie and stuff because I'm just intrigued to find out more and stuff. One very funny lady who passed away a couple years ago, who was a stand-up, is in it. Did you know Cynthia Zaghetti?
No, I did not. I didn't know her. I knew of her, but I didn't know her.
Yeah, and she was one of the founding members of the Groundlings, and she was a very well-respected improv teacher there and stuff. She's in it, and the very last shot of the movie, she has the last line, and she does this smile, and I had to like take a picture of it off of my my laptop screen and put it on Facebook. It was so poignant. It reminds me of the last shot of Uncle Buck when John Candy waves goodbye, because it's so sad that, that he's gone now, and it's so sad that she's gone. It reminded me of the same type of thing.
I don't know that movie. I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
You're giving me assignments, and I'm happy to fulfill them. I don't know. There are so many movies, and there's just not enough time.
Yeah. Well, I definitely recommend Hunk. It's a really funny movie.
Okay, I'll he's stolen my lighter. I shouldn't believe. He weighs about 20 pounds. I'm not even chicken. When he stands up, he goes right up to my waist. Yeah, I'm talking about you. We love you. You're a good, solid beast. He is a solid beast. When you watch, you can see his muscles moving. You know, it's like kind of creepy. But he just walked over and picked my lighter up in his teeth and walked away and dropped down and sat on it. I'm like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I understand. It's fine. And the thing is, I don't even smoke cigarettes anymore.
Yeah.
I have it for candles.
That's good.
But what would possess a cat to just go, I think I'm taking that. This is mine now. I'm covered with cat toys.
Yeah, I don't miss having cats.
Freak me out. Cats freak me out.
I used to miss having...
You don't miss your cats? What?
Nah, because I'll tell you something. Before my accident, I had a girlfriend briefly who had these cute little puppy dogs, and it made me go back to being a dog person again after being a cat person for a long time. We had several cats for years before we were homeless for a while, and just I don't miss just them scratching things, waking up and you got a fur ball in your belly button and stuff. I don't miss any of that.
It's so funny because we can't have a dog here. We cannot. I cannot wait to move. And we've always had a dog. I've always had a dog. Always.
Mm-hmm.
At least one dog. And I miss having a dog. And we kind of treat our cats like dogs. I mean, this one, he's looking at me like, fuck you. I'm coming for you. He really is. You know what I'm talking about here.
Yeah.
So fun. He fetches. And if you give him one end of a string or a ribbon, he will walk you. He'll hold it in his mouth and he'll walk you, but you can't walk him. Because cat. And he does. My daughter has taught him this stuff. He picks his water up in his mighty paw. He has these huge paws. And he scoops water up and licks out of his paw.
Mm-hmm.
And you watch him doing this and go, can't you just get in the bowl? There's something wrong with the bowl. I just don't. They're so strange. They do what they want when they want. That's it. But dogs have a real relationship with you.
Yeah.
Cats are kind of like, squatters. Cats are more like squatters.
Yeah. They're lazy.
But I love this cat. I love these cats. They are so lazy. It's hilarious. This one will lay down on the rug and pull himself by his front paws.
Mm-hmm.
If you throw a toy 3 feet in front of him, he won't get up and get the toy. He just lays on his side and pulls himself along on his paws to get to the toy. He won't stand up.
I saw something so gross. A cat who had 20 fingers and toes on their paws.
Ew.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's creepy. I mean, it's creepy. When a cat puts its paw around your neck and you can feel those different fingers,
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of squeeze.
Yeah. It's really creepy.
We have one cat who's he's a Maine Coon, so he's really floppy. They're really floppy cats.
Mm-hmm.
You can just put him on your head across his, you can just put him across your head, he'll just stay there. He doesn't dare.
Mm-hmm.
He's very sweet, but he screams all the time. And during the night, he screams. And it's not like you're, meh, meh. It's like, shh. He's being gutted. It's horrifying. It's terrifying. It's like we jump up out of bed, all of us, and run downstairs. Are you okay? And he's just sitting there looking at us like, that's you?
Yeah.
I don't know if they're strange, bizarre creatures. I don't know if they're like really animals, if they're something disguised as animals, but a dog would never do that to you.
Yeah. Dog definitely wouldn't.
Cats stare at things that aren't there, talk to things that aren't there, chase things that aren't there.
Yeah.
And you're just a fuck with us, really. I think that's what it is.
We had this cat for years. Her name was Vegas. It was my brother's cat, and my grandmother was reincarnated into her, like after she died, because it was something so spooky. She was like she became my grandmother. It was really spooky.
Oh my God. See, that kind of stuff is spooky.
Yeah.
You can come back as anything or anybody who would choose, you know?
Yeah. I'd like to come back as a dildo.
Battery, remote control, or electric? Because you know.
Rubber.
Rubber, yeah. Oh my God. I'm a happy person today. I am so freaked out though.
Mm-hmm.
I have that call back tomorrow. It's just so bizarre. Because it's like with bigger roles, you know what they want.
Yeah.
You pretty much deduce. They'll give you an indication on the first audition. With smaller roles, really? What made them call you back? What did you do? What do they want you to improve on? It's 3 lines. Somebody give me a hint. You know, it's like the doctor is in. 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 I'm going to drive myself crazy with this.
Yeah. But you'll do just fine.
It's a scary movie, so.
Yeah, I think you'll get it, though.
It's a horror movie.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. I want to do horror movies, because once you get in a horror movie, like...
That's my script.
Play, you're kind of there.
Yeah, that's my script.
Yeah. Yay!
It's going to be so cool.
That would be wonderful. I wish I had a lot of money. Don't you wish you just had enough money to do whatever the hell you wanted?
It's going to come.
Don't we all?
Yeah, it's going to come, though.
It will. It will.
Have you thought about starting your own podcast?
I have thought about it. My husband and I have talked about that.
You would be great at it.
We're thinking about it.
Yeah.
Well, we're thinking about it. And it's so funny because he used to do radio.
Mm-hmm.
Radio guy. Before he was, he's an AD, assistant director. So, I mean, and he's very funny. And it's strange because he's quiet, around my friends, around other people. And this is a great example. I'm sitting in a room full of comics.
Mm-hmm.
Male, female, all different ages, different experience. And he's the only one who's not. And they're all talking, and somebody asked him a question, and he answered it, and then they kind of followed it up with a little joke, and he topped them, and the whole room fell down. And I'm looking at him going, I'm so proud of you.
He killed.
And my friend I've known my whole life is sitting there like, no idea he was funny. I'm like, he's really funny.
Oh, that's cool, though. I realized I gotta go.
It's mandatory.
Yeah.
You gotta go?
I'm
so happy to talk to you. So glad you had such a good time in LA.
Yeah, I was just saying.
God bless you.
I was just saying I gotta go shopping and get groceries for the week today. It's $5 Monday at our grocery store, and
yeah.
But before to go though, I got jokes like I always do.
Okay, good.
How do you make your wife scream twice?
I don't know.
You fuck her up the ass and then wipe your dick on the curtain. woman comic told me that one.
That's very true.
Just imagine that stain it would leave.
Oh, God.
Billy, meet your new brother.
Oh, my God.
Why do men like to marry virgins?
Oh, I don't know.
Because they can't stand criticism.
I'm the best, trust me, you know? No, you don't. Oh, my God, that's true. And it's funny. See, true, it's funny. And gross, but, you know, gross.
My mom likes this one. I mean, she howls at this one. How come you never hear women fart?
I don't know.
Because they don't shut up long enough to build up the required pressure.
Oh, God. That's true.
She loves that.
Good. That's really good.
She loves that one.
Oh, man.
Well, Steph, I'm glad we got to do this. As always, we always have a good time.
Yeah, I feel better. I do. I actually do. I feel better when I talk to you. So I don't know why. I just do. And I appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm glad. Oh, thank you. I'm blushing right now.
Oh, you silly. All right. Well, take care and keep in touch, and I'll keep in touch and kick ass, man.
Of course. And when that thing gets made, and put together and everything, I'll send it to you. You're gonna laugh your ass off.
Yeah, I can't wait. Honestly, I'm really excited. That's so cool. Okay, good.
Okay.
All right, my friend. You take care.
All right. Love you.
Love you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, there you have it. Stephanie Hodge. Ain't she a sweetheart? Thank you so much, Steph. I love talking to you. I feel better when I talk to you as well, and I'm so touched that you said that. If you like this video, everyone, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Add me as a friend on Facebook. Join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all the time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past, because the present sucks. Later, dudes.